folks, my name's Chef Cicely and I'm here at the Divine Cafe at the Springs Preserve, and I'm working with resinous herbs today, and I'm gonna make a chutney. Now a chutney is kind of like a combination of a jam and a salsa. It basically is a bunch of chopped up fruits or vegetables with herbs and spices. So what I'm gonna make today is a combination of fruit, either apples or pears, and then herbs. So the first thing I'm going to do is take my fruit and cut it into small dice. This is a fairly simple chutney because what I want to accent is the resinous herbs. Now a resinous herb is an herb or a plant that has an oil component to it, and it also has more of an astringency. So it's an herb that's better to cook before use, as opposed to the fine herbs, which can be used fresh. And they can even be eaten whole because they're so delicate. Now the herbs that I'm going to use today with, let's say, the pear is rosemary. And rosemary is a very common herb in the valley. It loves the valley. It's an evergreen, even related to the pine. It kind of smells like that. So I'm going to first do something of waking it up, just rubbing my knife against it to extract a little bit of the oils. So I'm going to give this a very light chop and a really rough chop. And then for my other chutneys, I'm going to use apple. To a chutney, I can add onions, I could add other herbs, I could do it with mushrooms or with vegetables. It's really open-ended. And then with that fruit, I would like to use sage. And then I'm going to take some oregano and marjoram and a rough chop. So once all my fruit and herbs are chopped, I'm going to saute them in a little bit of butter. And then once those herbs are very aromatic, I'm going to add in the fruit and saute it until it's just soft. And then once it's soft, I'm going to let it simmer. The way that I'd like to use it today is with a pork tenderloin. And I could take 1/2, and simply sear it, give it a nice browning. Or I could take it and make more of a roulade by slicing the edges and unrolling it until it's nice and flat. And once it's flat, simply line it with the chutney down the middle. Go ahead and bring it in the longer areas a little closer to the edge. A little bit of twine. And then simply begin to roll it over. And the reason it's a little bit far from the edge is so that not all of the stuffing rolls out. You can actually get a seam of the meat to the meat. Take my twine, tie it off. Now here's the trick on a running truss, is to take that twine, wrap it around so that the long end is away from you, because then once you fold it over and pull it in, you're ready to do your next wraparound without having to recut the string. And that makes it really nice eating at the end, because it's really easy to get that twine off of there. Snip off that end, and this would go into the oven at about 350 degrees for maybe 25 minutes. super easy just until that pork is cooked all the way through. And once that pork comes out of the oven, use that chutney in a different way by using it as a topping. And now you have a beautifully aromatic way of using fresh herbs, fresh fruit, meat, in a whole bunch of different ways that's very simple. So thank you for joining me, Chef Cicely, here at the Divine Cafe at the Springs Preserve. I hope to see you here.